It's another day in paradise. Welcome to the Queen Amina show. Another beautiful day. We are on live and we are bringing you one of the best things that happens in the world of business. Sarah Karingi, all the way from Kenya, drum roll. Not yet. And I have my co host again. Always a pleasure to have her on the show, Dr. Princess Mokolo. I just want to thank you guys for always watching. Believe it or not, we are on our 27th day. Believe it or not. So soon, in 3 days, we'll be celebrating 30 days, 1 month. And God has been carrying us all along, and you guys have been so wonderful watching the show, sharing as usual. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, before I go on, I just want to say, whoever's joining right now, please share the broadcast. Ooh, share it. All right, let me bring up our co host. Let's see how she's doing. Hello. Oh, and I brought up our guest too at the same time. I don't know how I did that, but voila, here we are, guys. Hello, Sarah. How are you?
Hello, Amina. I am well.
Awesome. And Dr. Mokolo, how are you doing today?
Hi, everyone. I'm happy. It's a beautiful day.
It's such a beautiful day, sunny, bright here, and the word happy is an understatement. We are so happy and joyful. If there's any other way to describe it, why? Because we are alive. We are counted among the living. That's a big
Amen.
deal. That's a big deal.
Amen.
Yeah, right now, a lot of people around the world, going through one thing or the other. It's hard time, COVID-19, pandemic, no business, no work, staying at home, can't go, you name it. But we are well and alive. So it's a great deal. How are you doing in Kenya?
We are doing very well, and we thank God that we are alive. But we thank God there aren't many dead, and the government is doing its best to see that Kenyans are staying alive and they're observing the rules that are being passed to them, so that they stay alive and they do their businesses or they go back to work.
That is awesome. So that means they are adhering to advices and, watching and doing the right thing. So people are safe.
Yeah, majority are, but
Okay.
not everyone.
Okay.
But majority are observing the rules, and so I believe that in no time we shall all go back to work.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Please welcome again to the show. And before we go on, Dr. Mokolo, how are you guys doing in Texas?
Yeah, Houston,
Houston,
Texas.
Texas. Yeah.
Slowly but surely, life is speaking up. We're trying to stay safe. We have a mandate to put on the mask, and people are complying. And life is gradually coming back to some semblance of normalcy.
Okay. Well, normalcy would have a different
In
definition.
the new context,
Exactly.
in the post stay at home context.
Exactly. I wanted to say that. So the new normalcy.
Yeah.
Well, in
Yes.
Canada, some of the places are gradually opening up, but I think the lockdown is just going to be going on somewhat. So they're trying to slowly start up things. Our home country, Nigeria, unfortunately, everything is explosive. Boom. Opened up in 2 days now. And the first day, a friend sent me a video, and it was sad. It was very sad what I saw. Um, Almost 6 hours of hold up on the bridge of people, like
Oh,
exodus of people going to where I don't know. So I don't. I'm not the person that use the language of fear to say I fear for someone, but I couldn't help but say I fear for Nigeria. But again, God is on the throne, and we're praying
All
for, yeah. All right, so that's our brief conversation about the current situation, and that's as far as it goes, because we don't want to give it a voice. We're ignoring it. We are, well, not ignoring, but we are living in faith and helping people to stay in faith and fight this situation through faith. So we are going to be talking to our guest today, Sarah Karingi, all the way from Kenya. I will tell you guys a little bit of the woman that I know on the screen right now. Sarah is someone that she is very, very predictable. When she's looking at you, you can see through her heart right away what is coming next. I met her for the first time last year at the Vigo Awards International, and when you talk to people from outside, you really don't know them until you come face to face with these people. And then when I sat down with her, I was looking at her. I saw how educated she is. I saw that she has a mirage of powerful people that she's connected with. And then I see the program that she does, a selfless program, building young entrepreneurs in Kenya. And entrepreneurship is, especially among young people, is the lifeline of any country. So she's not focused on herself. She's focused on young people, bringing them up to where she is, and trying to help them even go past where she is. So I think it's just a beautiful thing. And you're here today to share some of those good stuff with our audience, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself officially to our audience.
Wow. Thank you very much, Queen Amina. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I would like, first of all, to say thank you very much, Queen Amina, for allowing me to come and share my experience before COVID, during COVID, and after COVID, and the international opportunities that are there for business. Otherwise, my name is Sarah Karingi, all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. My other name is the Queen of Networking. I love networking and connecting people for opportunities and businesses. Sarah is also a public speaker. I speak in conferences and I speak in women meetings. The other thing that I do, who I am, is that I am an author. I have written 2 books, and the third book I have co-authored with international authors. The first book is called Overcoming the Impossible. The other book is called What Successful Business Networkers Do. And then the other one, the third one, which I have authored with the international authors from America, is a book called Who is in Your Room? The other thing I do is that I'm a business mentor, and mostly I mentor young entrepreneurs who are starting businesses. Others have already started business and they want to continue with business. So what I do is I mentor them, I train them, and I work with them. The other thing I do is that I am a seasoned entrepreneur, and I'm here because I want to share with you my experience as a seasoned entrepreneur. I have been in different types of businesses. I am in construction and real estate. I'm also in hospitality. The other thing I do is that I also am a trainer in business, and I've also ventured in fintech, and fintech is business, of course, about finances and technology. That is, and I have also served as a director in many companies. So that is me in brief.
Wow.
So today, thank you so much, Amina.
You're very welcome. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
What do you have for us today?
yeah, today or this evening, because in Nairobi it is evening, I'm supposed to share a topic given to me by Amina, which is unlocking international business opportunities. Right now, everyone, everywhere in the world is going through a lot of stress, a lot of pain, because there are losses, but I believe that God is bringing this so that we can learn a lot of things. Before I go to my topic, I would like first of all to talk about a business during COVID. Sorry, before COVID, during COVID, and after COVID. What do you expect after COVID? Now, before COVID, everybody was running around or walking or driving to work, taking their children to school, going to work every day. Others were having parties. So life was very normal and very comfortable. But then, so it means that everybody was in kind of a comfort zone. But today you realize, of course, things have changed. You find that that time, even if you're in manufacturing, um, you would manufacture your products, or you'd retail your products, or you'd wholesale anything you have. If you are a supplier of services, of course, you'd go out of your home, you supply your services. And so for us,
But
or everyone,
today you
life
realize, of
is
course,
different.
things have changed. You find that
Yeah, things have changed. And so,
manufacturing your products.
yeah, so it means that then, of course, when you look at economies, people are either doing business between themselves. Maybe you'd export something from Kenya, you take it maybe to a place like, say, Canada or America or wherever, even Europe. And people are very happy about that. So you realize, of course, the world economies were doing so well. The travel industry was booming. The tourism industry was booming. Agriculture was booming. But you realize, of course, today now, we are actually experiencing the COVID aftermath. Now, some of the experiences that we have gone through, which are so painful, are job losses. Our people who have been employed have been told to take leave, permanent leave. Others have been terminated from employment. Others, of course, have lost hope. And then businesses have also closed. Others, of course, are also going through a lot of stress. There are people also who have died. And unfortunately, I think we have seen the deaths in different countries. Actually, I don't think there's any country that maybe has not been affected by COVID. I've not heard of any. And you realize that many people are even confused. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. But I would like to pose a question to you. Are you one person who is willing or ready to take opportunities? Can you see them? Or are you one person who, when something strikes, you start running around or you get so scared and you cannot even attempt anything? Now, you realize that, for example, there are certain people who usually fear, they don't want to try anything because they are either in shock. But there are others who will actually see opportunities and they run with them or after them. I think we've already seen that certain businesses have actually been affected, like the air travel. I saw something which Richard Branson had said, and he was asking the United Kingdom government to help him lift his business. Of course, we know that he is the founder of Virgin Atlantic, and he has about, I think, 10,000 employees, out of who about 3,000 have lost their jobs. And then you also realize there are other countries like, say, Seychelles and Mauritius. They earn their income. 30% of the GDP comes from tourism. Right now, nobody is going to any part of the country as a tourist. So what does that mean? That is a very huge loss of income by the economies or even by the people who do such businesses. Now, there's also another industry. There's the events and entertainment. Now, there's the effect on the economy is that such industries, or say like it is events and entertainment, many people, of course, will not go and have fun. And so because of that, you realize that so many people have lost their jobs because Nobody is going for entertainment because, of course, people are in pain or people are dying. And again, also, there's this lockdown. People are not supposed to go to work. They stay at home. So people are not used to staying at home, unlike before. So there's that discomfort. There's that confusion. There's also, you realize, of course, during this COVID, some families are breaking up because, of course, people are confused. Maybe there's no money to buy food, the very basic things that, of course, we need. There are others who feel like this is too much. There is also some people who I know who have died because of stress. Others are also going to hospital because they are in depression. Others are also suffering from high blood pressure and diabetes. Now, there is another business that I would also like to talk about. That is now the agri-business. Currently, we realize that it is when you have issues or you have problems, there are people who see opportunities, or probably they'll just be lucky. I read somewhere and I came across Zambia, where you find that all is not lost. In Zambia, they grow cassava. And by God's grace, I would say for them, those who grow cassava, when COVID came, they are doing so well. Why? Because cassava today is selling at $270 per ton, as compared to what they were selling the same at $20 per ton. So if you look at that, for them, of course, they are smiling because they are doing so well. So the local consumption of food, wherever in any part of the world, of course, has gone up. So I looked and I asked myself, Sarah, as an entrepreneur, we are told that what we need to do, according to those people who are very good in business, like Warren Buffett, that we don't have to do only one type of business. That what we can do is to grow our businesses and then we multiply them and also grow other businesses. And then I looked and I asked myself, supposing maybe I was in the events industry, I was in the air travel industry, I'm also doing another business, like say these are the businesses which are not doing so well. And I realized that supposing there were 5 businesses that have been affected by COVID. So what would that leave me? Where would that leave me? And so I thought that as an entrepreneur, even when I expand in businesses, there should be a business where something must be consumed by people. And I realized that probably, even if I'm not a farmer, probably I could work with farmers and I start another business because food is a must. Everybody must consume food. And that is when I said those who are in agribusiness today are doing so well. And so in that case, of course, it means that even when you are an entrepreneur and you are expanding in terms of business, look for something that you can do or a business that you can do which is a must, or where you have a basic service or a basic need. Now, when we look at what is happening is that many countries are also not exporting or importing. So I asked myself, most of us or most economies are relying 100% on import from China. Each and every economy relies on China in a very big way. So I asked myself, what can economies do, or what can countries or governments do besides just relying on China? So I realized that at times when you depend so much on someone, I don't think that is something that is really wise. So we have to wake up, we have to stretch our muscles, and we also have to make sure that, of course, we use the resources that we have, and then we have our own industries locally, be it in Uganda, be it in Tanzania, be it in Lagos, or wherever we need to also have our own industries, so our governments should also look at that. Now, I would like to talk about the bright side of coronavirus. Most people are looking at coronavirus and they are really cursing it. But when I look at it as an entrepreneur, I'm seeing that coronavirus has a positive side to it. Number one, within Kenya, I have seen very many people who were not entrepreneurs, but now they're entrepreneurs. So what are they doing? we have industries that have just sprung, and they are manufacturing gloves. Others are manufacturing masks. Others are also manufacturing sanitizers. And they have done a lot of business. So when some people are at home and complaining that there's no business, there are people who are really smiling all the way to the bank. So when you look at the bright side of coronavirus, there's those businesses that have already been born out of that. Then when you look at the medical healthcare, many have now received employment because, of course, there are many people who are required, or see the health staff are required to take care of those people who are suffering. The other thing is now there's also massive use of technology in passing information. Like my grandson is learning through Zoom. I also didn't know what Zoom was. And today I'm also running my meetings using Zoom. And this is technology. Now,
Hello.
what I'm seeing, okay,
Go ahead. Go ahead. That's good.
so
That's good.
yeah, so what I'm seeing is most of us, there are certain people who say they don't want to take technology or adopt to technology. And I realized that I was also in that space when I never really wanted change, because at times when we are so much in that comfort zone, we don't realize what we are losing. But the moment now this COVID-19 came, now things have changed. You are at home, your child must learn. So you have many people are learning how to use Zoom. Others are using Hangouts. The other thing I have seen, especially here in Kenya, now because people are working at home, they have closed their offices. One friend told me, Sarah, honestly, I didn't understand why I was even having an office, because I am an auditor and I'm working from home. My staff are also working from home. And all we are doing is to have Zoom meetings where we share what we have done. And then, of course, I also give them work to do. And then every Monday, we hold our meetings on Zoom. And of course, we exchange the information. And of course, things are still running. And then we also seen certain webinars all the way coming from different parts of the world. So it means now there is more connectivity online, unlike before, because many people are only using either Facebook Live. We didn't used to know about, I personally didn't understand or know Zoom. And right now you can see the way things are changing. So it means that is something that, of course, we have to adopt to. Then, like here in Kenya, because most people are indoors, they're also learning so many skills. I have seen some ladies who are now doing lots of baking. Others are learning how to crochet. Others are learning how to knit. Others are learning other skills which they never ever thought they would do. So it means there's so small businesses that are coming while people are at home. Now, I've also seen something else. When you go to the supermarkets, there's a lot of business taking place. Why? Because people must eat. So supermarkets right now are doing so well because they are buying so many things and selling to the Kenyan citizens. And I believe there is the same thing that is happening in other parts of the world. So, and then communication companies. We have Safaricom in Kenya. Safaricom right now is making a lot of money. And today I just sat and I said, not because Safaricom is doing so well. I called a friend of mine who understands shares than I do, because I don't invest in shares. I also asked him about bonds, and he was taking me through with my daughter how to invest in bonds and how to invest in shares. And then he told me, you know what, Sarah, right now, businesses are low. Have you thought of actually investing in shares? Because many people right now don't want to buy shares. And we agreed that I'm going to invest in shares, waiting, of course, for the economy to come up. So that's another opportunity for us to invest in. Now, you also realize that, of course, insurance companies also right now, if you had invested if you had your money and maybe probably you're not working, insurance companies right now are also helping those people who have lost their jobs and probably they need their money. So they're also going to the insurance companies and getting their money from there. So what this means is that as as a business person, you don't have to just stick to one source of income. It's good to expand your businesses and of course do other things so that you can continue with your life without feeling it. Now, another thing I've also realized is that there are lots of innovations taking place um, after, say, like even these courier companies. I've seen quite a number of courier companies coming up because you see, in Kenya, restaurants have been closed. But there are those people who have become very innovative. So what are they doing? They are cooking food either from home, packing, and supplying the food to people who, of course, need food. And this is something very innovative. And then the other thing is that, of course, we know that, of course, we need to live in clean environments. So there are people who are also manufacturing soap and selling to people. So all these are now, this is the bright side of COVID-19. So at the end of the day, there are those people who look and see that certain things are not working or it is disadvantageous. Others look at the situations and say, I'm lucky that this happened. It's unfortunate that, of course, they are dead. There's someone who even called me and told me that it's unfortunate, but okay, I laughed. She also laughed, but then I told her she's also quite creative, that she was thinking of starting to manufacture coffins because she knows that, of course, when people die, they need to be buried. Then she also told me, you know what, Sarah, I'm also placing an order. It's unfortunate, of course, but this is still business. Um, uh, I would like also to buy other things related to people, of course, when they die, and this is the body bags. So I looked at her, and then when she called me, I just asked her, "Are you serious? This is what you are going to?" She said, "Yes, Sarah, this is a business opportunity." So when you look at it, is that for me, I was thinking, "Oh my goodness, this is so sad." But you know, she told me, "You know what, Sarah? People have to be buried," and so this is an opportunity for me. So when you look at things from that angle, then of course that's okay. Now, there's a man whom I really admire, and this man is called Richard Branson. And this is what he said: business opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. So, you know, now, so with that, what this means is that COVID-19 is a bus and it has brought so many opportunities. But the question is, can you see the opportunities? And that is now what will bring continue doing business. So number one, we have to be very hopeful that coronavirus is not going to be here. You have to start thinking as a business person, what next? And then the other question is, how do I do it? The third question is, with who do I do it? So number one, what are those opportunities you are seeing? I think I've just mentioned a few of them. If you have been an exporter, right now, there's no export taking place. But do you realize, because people are holding their money, they are going to start buying. So there's going to be a booming business. So are you prepared? If you are a farmer and probably you're exporting flowers to Europe or you're exporting foodstuffs to Europe, this is the right time for you to start preparing your pieces of land so that in the event that, of course, COVID-19 flies away, you'll be able to supply your products to different parts of the world. And then the internet companies, they are going to do booming business. Why? Because many people have realized they can work from home. And I'll tell you one thing. I used to have low internet. Then a few days ago, because now I have to use Zoom, I'm holding professional meetings every once a week. I realized that I needed to improve my internet. So what that means is that there could be somebody else somewhere who is doing something similar. So those people who are in this business, they need to understand that this is the right time for them to upgrade or to improve on the internet. If there's anybody who thinks he can invest in internet, why not? So that's an opportunity that one can exploit. Then the other thing is, of course, I know sometimes, sometimes back, that was in April, I was supposed to take a group of about 50 people to Qatar for business. But what happened? COVID-19 came, so I couldn't take them to Qatar. And I was like, oh my goodness. Now, so what do we do? But I know it may happen. And then the other day I thought and I said, because of technology and because of where technology is taking us, I asked myself, maybe even the conference that was supposed to take place in Qatar, we can do a teleconferencing through Zoom or through any other channel. So it means maybe probably with the 3G that they are talking about, I mean the 5G that they are talking about, it means that, of course, we can do that business conference online.
All
So
right.
this is another opportunity.
Yeah, Sarah, I'm just gonna interrupt you just a little bit there. For those
Yes.
of us who are just joining us, I see some few people joining on the what is it called? When you do this stuff, what watch party?
Watch party. Yeah, watch
Watch
party.
party. Yeah. So for some of you that are just coming on the watch party, our guest today is Sarah Karingi. She's a successful entrepreneur all the way from Kenya. And my co-host, of course, Dr. Princess Mokolo. She's always been on the show Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes now you're going to be seeing her on Sundays for the Church Without Wall. Sarah Karingi is one of the award winners with Vigor Awards International for her humanitarian work of building up a young adult entrepreneur in Kenya and around the world. She's also a connector. She calls herself Queen of Network. So she will be able to network you to the right person to be able to get your business off the ground as for startups. Or if you're already in a business, Sarah Keringi will be able to help push your business from stage 1 to stage 2 and upward you go. So she is the queen lady that lets you fly. She trains you on how to spread your wings and then she pushes you to fly. So amazing woman we have on the show today, and she's sharing with us the golden opportunities that lies out there for international connection for businesses with the people in Africa or from outside the world connecting businesses to Africa. So please share the broadcast so people can watch. And if you guys don't see us on the screen, it's because we want you to stay focused on her and get all the nuggets and the goodies that she's sharing. But we are with you. All right. All right. Take it away, Sarah.
Thank you very much. So I think I just continue from where I left because we are talking about unlocking international business opportunities.
That's right.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amina. And thanks once more for having me on board. So I was just talking about the conferences and how I was to take people from Kenya to Qatar to go and connect them for businesses. This is something which I had already done with someone who is based there, a very good friend of mine. And when COVID-19 came, as I said, it was not, of course, we had to cancel the conference, just as many people have canceled businesses in April when COVID-19 came. And so, but still, that doesn't have to make us feel like, oh, this is not going to happen. But it's looking at the opportunities that are there. And that is when I was thinking a few days ago about how we can even have this conference online, maybe through Zoom or through another channel. Because what we can do probably is to have these people connect online, and then from there, they can start doing business as we wait for COVID to fly away. Now, there are also other opportunities which I have seen. A friend of mine also has an e-commerce business, and I'm seeing that there's a lot that is going on online. A lot of businesses are taking place online. People are buying things online. Some are placing orders from China. They are bringing the masks, and others are bringing the infrared thermometers, and they're ordering them online. So, of course, what this means is something that I have learned that before people never used to really take technology seriously or doing e-commerce. And so this is one area that people really have to take advantage of, and make sure that, of course, they connect with as the right people. And that is why I come in as a connector, because there are quite a number of people I know in different parts of the world who are, of course, are genuine and people who are honest, because, of course, again, online, there's a lot of conning, so people have to be very careful. So if you want any connection, probably that is now where we come in as Global Networks Investment. And then there's something else, which another opportunity, which I'll talk about, and this is e-learning. Of course, I know e-learning has been there, but I was asking myself again, because at times as an entrepreneur, you see it, you think, you analyze, try to imagine things, and at the end of the day is that you come up with solutions, or probably you also consult other people, because I really love consulting others, especially those people who are in the know. And I asked myself, if probably you have a school or a college, do you think that probably in the near future that those premises will really be required? Because if people are sitting at home and learning, then it means even institutions of higher learning may not be there. But maybe you need a degree from from America. You don't have to go to America to get that degree. You just learn online. So of course that's another opportunity. So it's good for people to think beyond their country through online learning. Then another area which I know people might be shocked to hear about is that in the future we are going to have one currency. The question I would like to pose to you: are you ready? Do you know anything about blockchain technology? Do you understand how cryptocurrencies work? Have you ever tried to understand what cryptocurrencies are? I can tell you for sure, okay, I am not a technologist, but out of my curiosity, I have done business using cryptocurrency, because and what I use is the Bitcoins. And as we are talking today, I'm also doing a business in cryptocurrency. But what I do is I ask those people who know. I have a consultant who has been working with me. I have done quite some business online. I have been able to mine Bitcoins, because whether you like it or not, this is where we are going. And so it is good for people to be prepared. Do a lot of research. Find out what cryptocurrencies are
So,
and how you can use them.
yeah, sorry to cut you in. I
Yes.
would, the cryptocurrency and all of those stuff thing. It's amazing and it's good, but I try not to sell anything to anybody, or maybe teach anybody anything that we have not been able to prove 100% that this is what is going to be. I know it's in the air, and what you're saying is correct. Don't get me wrong, because I get involved in these things too. But I try to keep the platform really, really neutral, so that people don't think that we're trying to sell something to them. So we're just gonna leave that cryptocurrency and all of those nice stuff out of the presentation, so that way people are still focused on the meat and potato of entrepreneurship that you are selling. I hope that's okay with you.
No, it's quite okay.
Okay.
Yes, I was just mentioning that, and I said that people need to understand what blockchain technology is,
That's
because
right.
it's something that is coming. But I'm not selling to them, but
Uh-huh.
they need to understand what blockchain is and what cryptocurrencies are.
Mhm.
The other opportunity that I know is that the multi-level business that can be done across nations. I have a friend who is doing some business online and of course through e-commerce, and she's able to do. She has a product that she's selling to people in South Africa. Others are in Canada. Others are in different parts of the world. And so it means that, of course, people also have to try and understand also how multi-level works. I'm not going to talk about the product because, of course, as Amina says, we are not here to market any particular product, but of course, those are other opportunities that are available. And people don't need to sit and think they can't do anything. So for me, I
for
think,
example, sorry to interfere again. For example, you spoke about different opportunities already. Just to recap, hey, Kay Zimmerman, thank you from Germany. Oh, my producer is on the line, Kathleen Fasiga. God bless you. She was the first lady, or the second lady, that exposed me into the movie industry, and everybody picked me up from her movie, Treacherous Heart. And she's live with us right now. God bless you, ma. And yeah, well, I'm so excited. Sorry, guys, that she will find what we are doing worth her time to be here. It's a big deal. So I'm sorry. Yesterday too, day before yesterday, we got one of your guys from the church, doctor, that was with us. So that was huge too. Anyways, we thank God. Sarah,
yes.
I want you to throw more light on the things that the people in Kenya are doing to empower other people that are sitting at home right now thinking, which is the way out for me? Okay, that caught my attention, that a lot of women in Kenya now are devising means to survive. Some of them, you said, they are learning to crochet. Some of them, you said, they are producing, no, they're farmers in Zimbabwe that were selling cassava. Now cassava has yielded a lot of profits for them. And then I want you to also elaborate some more on, if somebody is in Canada, take for example me, I am in Canada and I want to do business in Kenya. Or Sarah Munyi, your friend, precious girl, she's in Kenya, she wants to do business in Canada. How could you bring those connections together?
Okay, so now what I was talking about is that the opportunities that are there, most of them, of course, once the COVID is over, there are those people who do exports. And so it means that all we can do is to connect those people who are either in Canada or in Qatar so that they can do business together. There are people who in Kenya have been doing agribusiness. They export flowers, they export food stuff. And so those connections, of course, those are opportunities that are available. And then I also talked about the internet companies. There could be someone who is maybe based in Europe and he wants to come and invest in Kenya. Or others also want to buy bonds and shares in Kenya. Now, those are business opportunities that are available. So one doesn't have to really come here in Kenya and do business here, but all he needs to do is to have a connection in Kenya so that he can be able to do business with Kenyans.
Okay.
Yes.
How is business done in Kenya? Is it difficult to do? Take us through a brief step of, for example, I want to open, I don't want to give this away. Give me another business. Give me another business, because our video goes like 5,000 views.
An internet provider service.
Yeah. So let's say,
you want to be an internet service provider, yes.
Yes. Let's say I want to set up a physical office in Kenya for a movie production company. What do I need to do? I know in some country like Tanzania, you have to have a Tanzanian as a 50% owner of the business and a 100% partner of the business before you can register a business in Tanzania. Is it the same thing in Kenya? If I come to Kenya as Queen Amina from Canada and I want to open a business in Kenya, what do I need to do?
Number one, what you need to do is all the information is online. So you just have to go to online and ask, I want to open a business in Kenya. What is the procedure? And you'll be able to get all the information there.
Okay.
Yes, otherwise it's not very difficult, but you have to, first of all, be registered for VAT, all the government regulations, you have to make sure that you meet them. And then from there, then you register your company. And then after that, you start paying your taxes. And then you can also partner with a Kenyan, because when you come to a new country and you don't know the way around, then you may find yourself very confused. So that is why it's important to partner with a Kenyan who understands the systems very well.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
And then another thing you spoke about is the fact that a lot of people are sitting at home right now. Are they prepared?
Yes.
When you talk of preparedness, not too many people see into opportunities in times of crisis. What are some of the steps that you think someone could take to be able to begin to see into opportunities during crisis? Today is COVID-19. Tomorrow it could be a Jack Plus. The day after it could be Joe Blow there. It could be any crisis. What are some of the opportunities what are some of the steps you think someone could take to begin to see that this problem will come to pass, and after it passes, what am I going to do? What are some of the things you think someone could do to help them begin to see opportunities? Because obviously you see great opportunities and I hear you. But unfortunately, a lot of people are not where we are. For example, I saw an opportunity to bring information to the people sitting at home doing nothing at this point. These informations that we're bringing is changing lives. People are learning. You notice I take notes all the time when I'm on set shooting. I take notes for myself because I'm learning. But there are people there that don't see anything but gloom. How can we help them to begin to see opportunities?
Wow, that's a very good question.
Right after she speaks to that, we have a very interesting question on how do you start a business importing goods from Kenya to Canada? So
okay, perfect. So that's two questions.
Okay, number one, how people should need to identify opportunities is that number one, you just have to listen to people and hear their complaints. So that is one opportunity that you have to look at. So when you hear people complaining, probably is that maybe people say that there isn't a lot of maybe milk around, or maybe there aren't any masks, or maybe you hear the government saying that the requirement of a certain item should be like this way or that way. Then quickly you're supposed to move very fast and tap into that opportunity. So listen to problems, and then you'll be the solution provider.
I love that.
The other thing is that maybe you can even listen to people who are bragging and saying, you know what, right now my child is going to a certain school and they're teaching online. They're using Zoom. So now, if probably maybe this person needs high solution, maybe I'd say cameras, or maybe high solution laptops, that's the right time for you to go and sell to them such a laptop. Otherwise, opportunities are there, but in most cases, people don't see them. So it is in problems and probably also in people bragging, because you should be able to listen. So you have to have spiritual eyes and spiritual ears.
Awesome. Awesome. What was the second question, Dr. Mokolo? So before you take the second question, your microphone is muted. There's a comment from Susan West, all the way from London, Sarah. She said, there's always a need to be met. Filling the gaps is how you seize opportunities. I love that. There's always a need to be met. Filling the gap is how you seize opportunities. And Sarah was saying, become a solution to a problem, boom, then you will hit. That's my own way of putting it.
So that question was, what do I need to do if I want to import from Kenya to Canada? Where can I find distributors?
Sorry?
Okay, so that's a question. That would be a question not for Sarah, I don't think, because she doesn't live in Kenya. She lives in she doesn't live in Canada, she lives in Kenya. But Sarah, you might have network in Canada. So the question is, I want to import stuff from Kenya to Canada. So Queen lives in Canada and I want products from Kenya to come to Canada. What do I do? Do you have anybody that you can introduce? That person can connect with me, or later we are going to be posting your social media.
LinkedIn. Yes, Mr. Krishona LinkedIn. And forgive me if I don't say the name right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Sarah, can you answer that now, or do you want us to send the link for the person to connect with you and you can help them out?
Yes, you can send the link.
A lot of people want to know just generally, how do we export from Kenya to anywhere in the world?
Okay.
Yeah, as Amina says, I may not be able to understand, maybe not unless I do maybe research later to find out maybe what is required by the other country, because you see, you cannot just take something and export to another country without knowing the terms and conditions that are set. Otherwise, if it is probably exporting something to Canada, I have some friends in Canada and one of them is Amina. So what I will do is call Amina and ask her what are the requirements for goods to be exported from Kenya to Canada. Then from there, I'll be able to advise that person.
Perfect. I can help with that when the time comes, for sure.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So do you have another question, Dr. Lusema?
No, that's all the questions we have for now. I'm sure that as people join as they watch the recording, they will put their questions on there and we can send all the questions to her offline.
Okay. Hello, Naveen. I see you, pretty face. Okay, Sarah, I have a personal question for you. Okay.
Yeah.
You told us everything about everybody else and you introduced yourself from the beginning. Okay.
Yes.
My question to you is, in Kenya, in Africa, Kenya is in Africa for those of us that don't know, okay? How do you get by every day, considering the difficult challenges that we face with technology, with electricity, with people's mentality? How do you get by? Because I know you're successful in the businesses that you do. How do you get by every day?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. I actually didn't expect it, but then I have to answer. Yeah, so number one, how I do it is that I stay motivated almost throughout. And how do I do it? Number one, I'm a believer in God, so I wake up early in the morning at 4:30 a.m. I start with the Word of God. I meditate on the Word of God. Then after that, I read motivational book. And then and I make sure that, of course, I read books maybe like 1 hour before I wake up. Then after that, I'll either walk for 4 kilometers or I do exercise indoors. I go to the TV and I connect and I do aerobics for not less than 30 minutes. So that gives me a lot of energy to start the day. And then after that, I'll be able to, what I do is that I like getting connected to my friends and my relatives. So I'll set some, maybe 10 minutes to call a few people just to get connected. Okay. Right now, there's a lot of stress because many people don't know what to do. They are giving up hope. So because the government in Kenya is not allowing people to stay away from home, and they usually get home a bit late, because during the day I'll meet a few other people and we meet during the day. So I meet maybe like 3 people. I find out what is happening. They brief me as to what they are doing in their businesses. and I also network a lot online. So this is the right time for any entrepreneur not to give up. So what you need to do is to remain as visible as possible. So go online, post something, do e-flyers about your business, post them online, go to Facebook, go to Instagram, go to other channels, and make sure that, of course, your business is very visible. Why? Because when more people see what you are doing, so when things come back to life, it means they'll start calling me. And even as we are talking right now, I'm still doing quite some business because my business is live online. So people call me, they ask me for quotations. Others tell me they'll come to my business. They come. I don't even have to be there. So I've empowered others to do business even in my absence. So I don't have to physically be the person to do business. As I go out to empower others, or as people also call me to find out from me, maybe probably how they need to elevate their businesses or how they can remain online, or the small businesses they can start now that they're at home. And that is my joy. So when I connect people or when I help people, that is when I'm also able to grow as a person, as a business or entrepreneur. So
Mhm.
that is how I spend my day. And with my family, I ask them to come and join me because I usually live alone. So they came, my daughter came, my grandchildren came. So they help me to feel happy. And when, of course, I'm happy, I spread that happiness to other people out there.
That's right. Now, my other
Thank you.
question to you, as a woman as a woman entrepreneur, do you face challenges with other women being jealous, envy, or are they working together with you and no problem in Kenya? I just want to know if Kenya is a different planet.
Oh my goodness, that is very interesting. Anyway, what I would say is, I think for me, I don't focus on the negatives. Okay, they are there, but I look at them as opportunities because well, I'm able to go around, even if someone is jealous, I don't focus so much on the jealousy, but I'll try to understand this person so that probably I can gain from her and she too can gain from me. People say that women fight each other a lot. But when I look at other women, for me, I find them like success partners. So even when probably some of them feel like, we don't want her to succeed, who said I should only stick to one person? It means I can go to another woman and I do business with them.
I
So I
like
don't really focus so much on the ones who probably are trying to squeeze me or pull me down. Because you see, it is said that if you want to rise, lift others. So I have lifted so many women who in turn have also lifted me.
Amen. I
I
love
have
Yeah.
a question. I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, I'm so intrigued by how successful you have been across multiple industries: construction, real estate, hospitality, finance, technology, and all that. So, my question is, how have you navigated these different industries when an investment has failed, or when your dreams and aspirations or your plans in getting into a particular industry, when failure looks you in the face? What do you do? How do you overcome such failure and how do you keep on moving and being joyful like this over all these different business endeavors?
Oh, that's another very interesting question. I'll just briefly share something that happened to me a couple of years back. I lost my husband 13 or 14 years ago. And that was a very big loss because his own was managing all the businesses. And I thank God because today now I've been able to rise up from that death. I've also been able to rise up from flames because after some time when he passed on, one of our businesses where he was manufacturing construction products went into flames, and that was through arson. So you can imagine, as a woman, and I'm still paying certain loans and all that, it was not easy to come up. The voices I could hear from people are, you are a widow, you can't make it. Others are like, this was your husband's business, and it's like, we don't think you can really lift it or maybe start it off because you see, he was sick all through, so much of the finances were going to hospital. And I realized that not unless I shake myself up and not listen to these negative voices, I was going to close the business. And then I realized that there are employees who are working for us. And I looked at them and I thought, if I don't brave myself and face the situation, I could not have been able to rise from the ashes again, or even from that pain. But I focused and I say to myself, I know now I'm boiling in a hot pan. Now the question is, was I going to start just I sit in that hot pan, or jump out of that hot pan and go out and find out what I can do to get help? And so I went to a number of people. Some, of course, discouraged me, and others encouraged me. And then from there, I also continued reading the Word of God, and everything that I read from the Bible, whatever I used to really motivate me and encourage me. And so what I would say is that even when things are not running right, even now with this COVID, we are going to overcome. We are overcomers. So you don't have to feel like it's not going to work. If I came from that, I ran my business. I ran our business slowly. That time my children were in school. There were loans I was paying. In Swahili, there's a Swahili saying that says, "Watu ni mali." What this means is people are very valuable. They can help you to grow. But what kind of people do you engage with? So I went looking for the right people who gave me the right information, who gave me the right connections. So I got help even from the bank. So they extended my period for paying for those loans. Then after that, some of our customers who had run away, they came back, they realized the business was coming up. So when I was about to fly, that was when now it was set on fire. But I still didn't believe that I was going to get, of course, consumed by the fire. So I came out of the ashes, and I worked so hard, of course, through people and the few employees that were left, and we're able to grow that business. So even now, I know, even with this COVID, in as much as most people are giving up, it is possible for you to rise again. So there's nothing like it's not possible. And that's why even I wrote my book, Overcoming the Impossible, because many people will tell you, this is not possible, that is not possible. Then the question is, those people who have made it, how have they done it? It's having faith from within you, and also connecting with the right people, consulting as much as possible, and believing that God can help you to overcome and become a winner.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Your book, Overcoming the Impossible. How can we find it, first of all, before we go into the next question?
You can find it on Amazon. It is there in Amazon. And also what successful networkers do, it is also in that in Amazon.
Okay. And it's called Overcoming
the Impossible by Sarah Karingi.
So what we're going to do today, just to promote the book, I have a club going on right now. We're just very few, about 4 or 5 people in the club. It's a book club. Read a book a week. And believe it or not, I've been challenging myself, and I'm on my 4th book within 4 weeks. So I am going to be giving away one of Sarah Karingi's book on the show today. So stay on the show to the end. I'm going to ask a question from everything that she's been sharing. The person that answers the question will get a copy mailed out to the person.
Wow.
So, yeah, Sarah, are you with me on that one?
Yes. Thank you very much, Amina.
Dr. Princess, are you with me on that
I'm
one?
on, yes.
All right. So, guys, hold on to the last. We're going to give out the question about Karingi, and whoever answers the question correctly will get a copy of that book mailed out. And when that book is mailed out to you, please read it and pay it forward. The whole purpose is not to show off, is to pass on great information to help you, and you help somebody else. All right. Okay, so my next question to you is, you actually touched a little bit about it. I was going to ask you about family values. And you said you lost your husband. A lot of single mothers today, they say, oh, I am alone with 2 children, 5 children, 4 children. I can't never do it. Sarah, you are an example of a single mother that have successfully navigated through difficulties, and has made a living for yourself. Not just for yourself, you have become a blessing to many others around you and around the world. So, what is the one thing that you would look back today and say, thank God I did it?
Empowering others.
Empowering others. Okay, that's
Yes.
beautiful. That's very
Yes.
simple for you to do because it sounds very natural thing for you.
Yes.
A lot of other people don't think that passing information can empower others, like what we are doing. Some people might look at it like, oh, I beg, I don't want to listen to it. Information is power when you put it into action.
Yes.
Information is power. No matter how stupid that information sounds, if it makes sense, just take it, run with it.
Yeah.
Information brought me to where I am today. Information brought this show around through Isokem IB. Information brought my family to where we are today, which I am going to share one day on the show. You know, the power of information. You can never ever say anything about information if you're not taking information. Yesterday, I had a discussion with my husband. I was listening to a broadcast and I wanted him to come and listen with me. And he said, oh, I'm very tired. And I said to him, I said, you know what? I am soaring ahead with information, and you are not. He said, who told you? When I'm in my quiet place, I am listening to information too. So information helps people. It helps you get ahead. It's not a joke, you know. Joke apart. Information helps us. Dr. Mokolo, do you have any other thing for her?
Just to remind everybody of what she has said, she says, empower, empower, empower. She says, if you want to grow, you have to help other people grow. And she talks
Yes.
about her motivation, her inspiration up there. I am so blessed to being a part of this. Widows out there, I hope you learned something from this. She was a widow, unprepared, but she jumped right in,
Yeah.
overcame the adversity and grew that business that they said she could not grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, thank you, Dr. Princess. Sarah, what are
Yes.
a few of the last words that you have for us? And also, please tell every single person how they can get to you.
Okay. First of all, let me say that whatever appears like is not possible, there's somebody somewhere who has done it and succeeded.
Mhm.
And however number of times that you fail, it means that of course you be successful. But if you are not willing to be successful, then that is your only problem. So what you can do is that to believe that of course it's possible to grow, to change, and when you grow other people, they grow you.
Yeah.
I have a quote that says that if you want to be in business, make people's business your business. So if you see people are down, lift them up and they will lift you up. If you see people don't have knowledge and you can be able to help them with knowledge, help them with knowledge. So whatever you have, learn to share. Because when you share, you also receive more from many other people. So do it and you find yourself successful. For you to get um, say connected to me, I am on Facebook. There's Sarah Karingi. I share a lot on social media, Sarah Karingi. You go to Instagram, you also find me as Sarah Karingi. But I've also have another account by Betty Karingi, and Betty is Mbeti, Betty Karingi. Now I also have my number, which is +254 714 880 173.
Say
I will
that
repeat.
again, please. Hold on, hold
Plus
on. Okay, plus, yeah,
+254
yeah,
714
yeah.
880
Mhm.
173. That is my WhatsApp line.
All right, I got it. I'm posting
Yes.
it on the chat room.
Yeah. So you
Uh,
can get in touch with me. You can ask me questions, and I'll be able to help where I can.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Madam Sarah Karingi. It's been a great section with you. You're such a woman of wisdom. We love you. We thank you for your time. I know it's pretty late in Kenya. You took out time to join us today. We appreciate you. Thank you for sharing all the great opportunities that are available for people that are sitting and looking at this period as a gloom situation rather than looking at it as, you know what? Yes, it's bad, but there's something in this to move me forward. Thank you so much for that wisdom. We love you, love you, love you. The Lord God Almighty bless you. There's one prayer I pray for everybody that comes on my show. And I tell everybody why I pray that prayer, because I know if it's good for you, it'll be good for every one of us because of the kind of heart that you have. So may the Lord God Almighty enlarge your course. May He bless you to become a blessing. May He show you the inside of secret things in the heavenly places so that you will be above your peers. In Jesus' holy name.
Amen.
God bless
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Amina.
you.
Thank you very much, yeah, Dr. Princess. I don't know your name, Makola.
Yeah,
And all viewers, God bless you so much, even for listening to me.
thank you.
Thank you and good
You
night.
have a great rest of your evening. All right. How do you feel? I think everything went
It
well.
was
We thank
awesome. I
God.
learned so much. I learned so much.
I learned quite a lot too. Yeah, I didn't know that Kenyan women are this resourceful. And I mean, the opportunities that are out there for women. You know, it's a man-dominated world, and we're coming to that show very soon. But the truth is, women got power. We got power.
Yeah.
If we can stick together, we got power. Look at her, a widow. She didn't do just one business, but
Multiple businesses.
multiple businesses, and she's successful in all of it. So does that defile the statement that says "Jack of all trades, master of none"?
I've never believed in that statement. I've
No,
never.
because I wear multiple
Master
hats.
of all. Master of all. Jack of all trades, master of all. It's all about a spirit of excellence.
That's
You
right.
have it or you don't have it.
She's master of all.
And
Yeah.
looking so great for all that she's been
I
through. Looking
know.
awesome.
I know. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching today on the Queen Amina Show. A big thank you to our co-host, Dr. Princess Mokolo. Always a pleasure to see you. God bless you, and may God enlarge your coast.
Shalom, everyone.
Amen. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We've come to the end of another wonderful section on the Queen Amina Show. Tomorrow, we're going to be live again at 2 p.m. And our guest is all the way from drumroll, and I will tell you. Our guest, oh wow, tomorrow we are having Ahmed Tijani. So you guys, please be on the lookout. Join us. Tomorrow is going to be an amazing section. Don't miss out. Share the video. God bless you. Until then, keep watching the Queen Amina Show.